it is that thing, should we be talking about responsibility? And this often gets us into trouble as well as women if we say, we need to be saying to our daughters as well, you know, if you get very, very drunk, you are putting yourself sometimes, you could be putting yourself in a dangerous situation. And I'm not just talking about sex. You can be, you know, crossing the road, falling into a river on your way home if you're stumbling home.
It's so being all parents, isn't it?
It is being parents. And I think, you know, you do get shot down sometimes for saying, you know, women particularly have to be careful if they're out, if you're alone, if you've been drinking, you are vulnerable. And I'm not in any way saying that we shouldn't be allowed to walk or be a bit drunk and totter home and be safe. Of course, in an ideal world, of course we should.
It's not ideal,
but it's not an ideal world. So, you know, you've got daughters, Nadia. What would you be saying to them about consent, about drinking, about being in situations where you have to trying to keep yourself safe?
I mean, I do have daughters, but I think the conversation is around would be similar with boys or girls. If you're very drunk and you're out in the street, you could be vulnerable to unsavoury people in all sorts of situations. I think that we have a massive problem with drink in this country. Why is it that up and down the country there's just horror stories everywhere of people doing things not knowing they were doing it because they were drunk? I think that I'd just like to say, I think though Ched Evans has been proven innocent, he is morally corrupt for that behaviour, and it terrifies me that my daughters are growing up in this world, and it terrifies me that you can't be drunk without a certain section of society thinking that you've then asked for it if you're drunk, because I don't think all men are animals.
No.
I don't think men get drunk and then suddenly can't. Some, but I don't think any man could get drunk and then behave like an animal and rape somebody. I just don't believe that. Men are better than that. But you have to alert your daughter to the fact that there are some like that.
Yeah, I mean,
and
that's
I'd
what I
always say
found.
to her,
I
don't
found
get so
that.
drunk you don't know where you are.
I found, like you said, you know, he is now been cleared of rape.
Yeah.
But to me, all of the men involved that night, the two that were filming it through the window, the two in the room, that was just reprehensible that they then left her. Now, whether she was consenting or not, you know, they said she was, and the court have cleared him of rape. But just the way they treated her, to me, was morally wrong, and that's not a crime. He's absolutely right. It's not a crime.
Right. But if they didn't realise that as a crime, maybe we do need more of these consent lessons, because I think we all would talk to our children, probably most people here. But a lot of people don't. But a lot of people don't have those conversations with their sons and say, listen, if somebody is so drunk, she can't lift her head, that is not sex. That is not... Why would you want to do that?
I think you're right, education at school. I mean, the PSHE, I think, you know, these can be incorporated into sexual education.
Yeah, but you can give all the sex education at school and incorporate it in everything when they're sober.
Yeah, no,
the problem is
actually,
that one drink that sends
many
them...
comments coming in with you, actually, because Holly says, you know, don't drink too much, anything can happen. I'd be teaching my sons to have a bit of respect for the opposite sex and send them home in a taxi.
Hear, hear.
If you've enjoyed that, then why not click here for more? And don't forget to subscribe by clicking here, so that you never miss out on the best Loose Women moments.